So what we propose to do, the first step for synthesis, we have two. The first step. First, we distinguish economic criteria from social criteria, from environmental criteria. You will probably observe that this transparency is not in Romanian and even not in English language. So don't be confused with what is written. Please follow the pointer. This is important. As I said, what we have done, what we can do, here we have economic criteria, social criteria, environmental criteria. And the same grouping we do on the other side, here with the measures. Here we have economic measures, here we have social measures, or here we have environmental measures. So, first step of synthesis, synthesize or calculate average within this each box. Okay? When we make synthesis here, average, plus minus 0, as we have shown earlier, we obtain this value, GG, as we had. GG means, GG, this is because it's Slovenia. We say gospodarstvo, but we should say economy. How it is economy in Romanian? Economia. Not very hard to remember. So, GG means, this is some value, maybe 3 pluses. It means how economic measures impact economic criteria of evaluation. May I ask you again for help, colleague? Vasilia? What? Andrada, sorry. SO would mean what?
How social measures impact
environment.
On environment. Exactly. So, this is the first step of synthesis. What we have done, we have summarized only impacts which are similar by source, because we should be aware that if economy, social, and environment are apples and oranges and nuts, then we have also distinguished GG, economic impacts on economy, from economic impacts on social indicators. Because economic impact on social indicators may be, we will increase competitiveness with lowering wages, which will increase unemployment, which will be recorded as more criminal on the streets during the night, for example, just classical and total improvisation. But increased criminal on the streets is not commensurable, cannot be summarized together with the economic impact on economic indicators. So this must stay separated. So when we do the first step of synthesis, we obtain square matrix of results. It will be always square by definition, which is known matrix, at least for economists. Here maybe some economists with us. This is Leontiev, central quadrant of Leontiev's input-output matrix is actually this. So, we know, and now we ask ourselves, okay, still we want to solve an aggregation problem. And aggregation problem at this stage, well, it is not solved. We have 9 partial results. We want to summarize this further. What to do? We propose to apply the most simple, the most conventional correlation matrix. Correlation matrix means that we will estimate the relationship between, for example, economy and social sector. Not impact of economy on social sector, but also impact of social measures on economic criteria. So we have relationship between 2 domains. Relationship, how you impact me relative to how I impact you. You know, when you are at home and have a talk with your wife, it's very important to resolve this question in a clever way, from both sides. Not that only one is always guilty, or not that only one has always is always good for something. So this is correlation metric. Probably no need to spend much time. So what we have done to transfer from to go from quadratic to square metrics to correlation metrics is to connect these values and to compare these values with this value. And we will write this in this way. It is impact of economic measures on social criteria in comparison, or this intersection sign from the set theory, we'll repeat, impact of economic on social criteria in comparison with the impact of social measures of the program on economic criteria of evaluation. When we do this together, we have actually done what we could if we take into account assumption of incommensurability, apples and oranges. We cannot summarize any further. What we can do is we can go on with synthesis to present results graphically, but we cannot calculate any further. If we present these results graphically, we will obtain this very well-known graph, which is called Venn diagram of three overlapping areas. Here I simplified these terms so that it will be easier to present this graph. So please suffer with me when I will present this technical detail. What we have done is to simplify this is impact of economic measures on economic criteria is GG. And we said, okay, now we will simplify and say GG is the same as G. It means economic sector. Economic evaluation is results of economic evaluation. Results of evaluation on nature, result of evaluation of social aspect. It means social aspect, social impacts of environment, of regional program, economic and environmental. And these overlapping areas, we will also simplify this. This one will be simplified in this one. Okay? This is S overlaps with G. And this is this. Overlap between G and S. And the same others. So, when we... I think I will now write it. Thank you. How I think that this can be synthesized. If you have three potatoes, for example, because I cannot put them in circles, and this is E. We say this is S, N, and this is then E overlaps S overlaps N, and E overlaps N, and this is X N. Overlap of all three. Now we have to say this one is conceptual. I mean, it is to explain the graph. But we evaluators will never be able to calculate summary indicator of impact. Why? Well, simply because we said E, S, and N are apples, oranges, and nuts, and these cannot be combined. These must be separated. They can be combined only when they overlap. They do overlap in some marginal situations only. Conceptually marginal. This is how economic measures impact economic criteria, and so this is not overlapping area, because there is some autonomy of economic sector to impact itself in a way that is not relevant for ecology or social sector. There are, for example, accounting standards maybe does not impact the environment. Well, maybe they can, it depends. Or some interest rate questions, or how to manage reserves in businesses, or I don't know. I'm just saying, there are social measures which don't have impact on E, only impact S. But of course there are measures which impact both. Social economy, for example. Social economies overlap. Social economy has social component and economic component. And then eco-social development is this one, overlap. It has social component and environmental component. And this overlap between economy and ecology, nature, is eco-business. Well-known thing. Well, I told you only positive examples. E overlaps S is also negative impact of increasing E on S, as we have said previously. So these are overlapping areas. So when we summarize the results, we can do, for example, we have impact is 1, 2, or 3, plus or minus. And we can organize the results of evaluation in this way. We say E is 2, S is 2, N is 3. E overlap S is, for example, 1, and so on, and so on, and so on. So we can present, not with one figure, not with one scalar value, but we can present with one complex diagram incommensurable results of evaluation. So we can do, this example shows us that we can do evaluation in synthetic way, even in the cases that we start with the incommensurability of evaluation domains. E is not commensurable with S, is not commensurable with N. Commensurable means we have discussed last time that the Romanian language actually knows this word.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I don't need to explain you, because I have to explain it in Slovenia because it's not non-existent in Slovenia. This is for us is foreign word, Latin or something. And people say, what do you mean commensurable? Commensurable is that they don't have the common denominator. This is the thing. So, commensurably, for example, we can translate all impacts into one unit. For example, into money. This is commensurable. If we have incommensurable, means that we have that one impact is evaluated in dollars or euro, one impact is evaluated in trust, one impact is evaluated in regeneration capacity of environment, of nature, and so on. And so this, and this is incommensurable. Cannot be put on the same unit, in the same unit, expressed in the same unit. So, this is the first part of the problem. And actually we could stop it here. In explanation of evaluation problem, of aggregation problem, because this actually explains MESA approach. Why MESA? Why MESA? MESA, because we are saying that synthesis is possible only in overlapping areas. Non-overlapping areas, totally overlapping areas, everything is overlapped with everything. But we say synthesis is here.